All right, guys, that's the promo.
Nice.
That's so fun.
All right, so we're gonna just hop right into it. You guys good? You need a refill, or you ready to go?
I'm still going strong, mate. I'm doing all right.
They got some Fosters. Nice.
Yeah,
Fosters.
I know. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not as girthy. Usually they're like
Yeah, so they're like
it's not quite a
it's like a
pint.
tall boy.
it is a tall boy, literally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
440.
But yeah, it says Melbourne beer, but I think it's brewed in Newcastle. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Some trivia.
Yeah, I like Newcastle.
I like
Newcastle beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
What's going on, buddy?
Hey.
How's your week?
You know what? It was very weakish.
Yeah. It was.
How about yours?
Mine was weak, but you know what's not weak? Our sponsors.
Oh, indeed. Well, first off, welcome to Bacon's My Podcast. We are the only podcast with the word bacon in it.
Yeah.
That is in the top 1,000 in Brazil.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
like
to
that.
all our peeps in Brazil, keep
What's
it
up?
bacon. You'll get that later.
Keep it bacon.
Yeah, you'll get that later. But yeah, welcome to the show. We have sponsors we need to get to.
Yeah.
So
super quick thank you.
Super quick.
This show was brought to you by drinkwildbills.com, Bing, poddex.com, grayrassoff.com.
And if you go to any of those websites, use the promo code BACON, get 10% off all of your orders. It helps the show immensely. But then also, we have another sponsor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Manscaped.
fine people at Manscaped, keeping your marbles shiny and clean.
Indeed.
If you go to manscaped.com and you decide on any of their products, including their package deals, which are pretty awesome for your package, you can get 20% off with the code BACONPOD.
Bacon Pod, it's a little bit of different wording. That's why we keep it separate from the other ones, but you do get 20% off.
And free shipping.
And free shipping. Yeah. So make sure you do that. This week, we have the band from across the pond.
Oh.
We have the band Weatherstate.
Yes.
Really cool guys. Super awesome interview. We talk all about recording their new record. We have Kalen and Harry. We talk about their touring, coming back after pandemic, Destiny's Child, Green Day.
Yeah,
all the important stuff.
It's funny. It's funny how we started really getting into the Green Day and Destiny's Child stuff too. We should have gone earlier with that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Next time we'll talk about wrestling.
They just wanted
and
to
stuff
they wanted
that,
to talk about their new record and like,
you know,
whatever.
you got to get these people their promo time. Just kidding. Their stuff's really good.
yeah. So and they'll definitely be
Headstone
back.
videos out now. You guys can check it out. And they're actually, by the time this airs, Never Better is going to have been released as well.
Indeed.
So definitely check that out. And if you saw them on the What's Your Bacon is Heaven Questions pre-show that we do every week on Strangerhood TV, you would have seen some of the good answers about gnomes too. They're divided there, but they're
divided
together on soup.
They're divided, but
cereal.
in a way that's very intriguing.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the push-pull of it. So without further ado, we're going to make that episode start right about... Go ahead.
I don't believe you.
Now.
No.
I cut it out already.
Yeah. I beat you on that one.
You did. Now.
Damn it. All right, so we just played the fair, right? Mm-hmm. I saw our new sponsor next to us at the fair.
Right.
Right? Any of you that have ever been to festivals, one of the coolest spots to go to is that spot that's selling you sodas with the copper mugs.
Oh, they're the best.
Wild Bills, dude.
Yes. And you don't just have to go to a fair to get their stuff anymore. You can go to drinkwildbills.com and they'll send it right to your house.
They sent that ginormous box to us.
Huge box of stuff, and it made me realize that Wild Bill's isn't just soda.
Yeah, I thought it was at first, but man, the like jerky and
nuts and coffee.
Oh man, snack foods, coffee, everything.
And if you go there now, drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code BACON, of course, and you get 10% off.
Oh, dude, check it out. Stick with us because we're going to be letting you know how that coffee tastes. We're going to be doing some tasting episodes on literally everything in the box.
Yes.
So stick with us. But, dude, you've had it. You've been at fairs. I've bought it. I bought that mug. It's awesome. I love it.
And now, again, we're heading into the winter months. It's going to get a little colder. No more fairs. Just have it delivered right to your door.
Drinkwildbills.com.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say.
Blah, blah, blah.
Once. Check it out. Promo code BACON.
This is Paul Mark from Silverstein, and you've been consuming, vegan or not, Bacon is my podcast.
Welcome, everybody.
Hey, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, I just, boom, right in. Because that is obviously going to be the intro.
Right, of course.
Yes. Welcome to Bacon is my podcast. Today, we have Harry and Callan from the band Weatherstate. Gentlemen, how are you?
What's up? Yeah,
Doing great, mate.
So for anybody who didn't listen to or watch the 7 questions from Wednesday, you'll notice they have funny accents.
Or do we have funny accents?
Or maybe we have funny accents. I don't know. They're coming to us from the UK.
Yep.
Which is awesome. They're 5 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, so
we were
thank you
already
for,
made fun of for drinking booze at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Thank you guys for spending your time with us.
It's
Appreciate it.
I will say though, like for my family, my uncle is from Ireland. Was from Ireland, and so we always, especially now that I have kids, we always celebrated Irish New Year, which is the same time as you guys. It's awesome because we put on a UK-based news station, and by 7 o'clock, we've done our New Year's countdown. Everybody goes to sleep, and night's over.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool.
You should find a country that's, or a place that just has, New Year's earlier, and then you can just go to bed early, or just do something else.
Yeah.
Is that just an excuse to start drinking as early as possible?
It sounds like an excuse for you to go to bed early. That's what it sounds like.
It might be all of that. It might be all of that. I don't know. But yeah, so they're coming to us from the UK, which is pretty awesome. It's our first guests abroad.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, is it actually? That's cool.
First
well,
guests abroad.
we've had people from abroad before,
Right.
but never recording from across the pond, as they say.
This is exciting for
Yeah.
It's monumentous.
Monty, yeah, sure.
It's a moment.
Exactly. So you guys are now putting out new music. You got a new record coming out soon. You want to tell us a little bit about it? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so our second album, Never Better, comes out on February 10th, and it's been in the works for a few years now. We've been a band for close to a decade almost now, which is a scary thought. But yeah, number 2's rocking around, and we just put out a few singles. We just put out the video for Headstone. It's one of I guess the song we're really proud of, and a bit of a turning point maybe for us. But yeah, that's all we got coming up really. That's rocking up next month. So yeah, sneaking around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, so you said that the album was in the works for years. Obviously, did the pandemic kind of derail that at all, or you guys just started around the pandemic? Or
We started working on the record before the pandemic started, and then when we went to actually book the recording time, that was when it kind of took a turn. I think then we started really focusing the songwriting. Obviously, I had to do a lot of stuff on like video calls and whatnot with Alan Day, who we worked with, who was the producer of the record. So yeah, it completely derailed all of our the way we had to write the songs, because normally we would just be together or whatever in our practice space or in someone's bedroom, locally, like writing them together. But because we couldn't do that, everything we had to do was remote. So we were in a bit of a weird situation where when we actually recorded the songs, we've never actually played them live together before, which is actually quite terrifying. And there's still some of the songs. There's still some of the songs on the record that we haven't actually played together as a band, like right now. So it's a completely different. It's a real backwards way of doing it, and it wasn't my preferred way of doing it, but it made for some interesting experiences.
Yeah, it's not punk rock at all to do it like that.
Absolutely not. It's the least punk rock thing, recording and writing songs
over Zoom,
over Microsoft. Yeah, over Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, it's like become the new thing that everybody's just kind of had to do anyway.
Yeah.
I know that you guys kind of were more of a traditional type of, like you were saying, get in the room and write, and then get on the road and play the songs out and kind of work them and work the whole thing. What kind of things did you have to kind of relearn or learn differently that you've enjoyed or haven't enjoyed by having to do everything this new way?
I think there's benefits and like disadvantages to doing it like that. I think what really helped us was we were able to dissect every single little thing on every single song and make it as best as we could possibly do, rather than just us like chord bashing in the garage together.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff gets lost. So what we really dived in this time was like that pre-production, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did months and months and months of pre-production.
When you're writing songs by just adding and tinkering with layers bit by bit, and you can hear them back and say, "Oh, that sounds crap. Let's scrap that. Or let's do that." It's completely different than when before we almost had all the songs like 95% written just in the garage together. So you'd go and record it, and then you might tinker a few things here and there. But with this, the entire actual writing process was done in a completely different way. So it means that the songs have got a lot more dynamic range, which we wanted to do on the second album anyway, expand a bit more. But it was definitely like a really like alien way of doing it compared to what we're used to.
Yeah.
So
it's certainly slower. That's the only problem. Is like you can't just in that moment in the same room just change it like that. It's like we would have to like go away, re-record some bits, and then email it over to Alan, who lives in Massachusetts, and then like. Just like time zone differences, just scheduling. I worked late in the UK, and so we were up to like 3 a.m. UK time some nights just working on this song. Shattered, having to be up within 4 hours for work and stuff like that. So like, it's just slow.
It's an amazing experience, and
absolutely,
definitely adds to the songs. And it was really good to do and try and learn to do it in a slightly different way. But I wouldn't say overall I preferred it that way. I'm a bit more traditionalist. That's I quite like the idea of just being together and just being a garage band. But
how do you think that's going to change? Like once you're able to kind of do it more traditional and old way again, do you think you're going to keep some of the ideas and the things to try and still like you said, create it in a layering way? And kind of mix it together. How do you see that going forward?
We definitely will do that going forward. We wanted to expand on the first album anyway, in the sense that we wanted it to be less, had more layers and have more dynamic range and stuff. So it kind of fed into that style that we were doing, and it fitted the kind of style of the songs we wanted to write a bit more. I think you'd probably dial it back a bit. I think we would just do both. We'd probably play the songs in the garage together, and then we would, go and tinker and do those dynamic
like a home demo, but like at least we played the song together.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually play them together with my friends.
Get some kind of vibe going.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a bit of both. We'd do that, and then we would take the demos and then work on them and add and remove layers and stuff. So I think it'd be some kind of like Frankenstein of both of them.
It's quite interesting though, because like with our latest single, Headstone, I feel like that song would have never been born if it wasn't for me sat in front of a computer with an acoustic guitar. Mm-hmm. Like, I think if I turn up to a guitar practice for my acoustic guitar going, "Hey Harry, here's some chords," like, I think it would have been written off immediately. It's almost like I had to kind of sell it in its like somewhat idealized format of a home demo for it to kind of make sense. If I just turn up with a guitar, Harry would be like, "That's all right, I guess."
Yeah.
It's probably forced you guys to be more effective listeners,
Mm-hmm.
or just learning new ways, maybe not more effective, but maybe just learning different ways to listen also and to present your songs. Cause I have that too. Like, I know that a lot of times I'll bring a song to the band and it'll be acoustic guitar and it'll be like, okay, I wrote this in my room yesterday. Where are we going to go? And if it doesn't immediately kind of grab them in a way of like, what can I do as a drummer? What can I do as a bass player? Where's the electric guitar? If it doesn't hit you right away with that, it's kind of like, put it on the side. And it's like, okay, maybe I should have made a demo of that. So
it's much easier to kind of present it as a kind of full body, isn't it? I've had it before. I most of the songwriting style that I work with is I kind of start with just like a chorus idea or something like that, which if I just record 10 chorus ideas, because I haven't actually recorded them and add any dynamic range to them, it all just sounds like chord bashing, similar things,
Right.
But sometimes it's much better to actually present something in a demo format, even if it's just like a minimalistic version of what it's eventually going to be. It's a lot easier to present it like that. And so I do think there's definite pros and cons to both ways of doing it. And it was good that the fact that we all dissected every part, and we were there with Alan as well, going through bit by bit and saying, not sure about this, not sure about that. I don't think we had that level of kind of review when we were doing the first record. It was more just like, oh, this sounds cool when we play it all together. Let's get in the studio and record it, kind of thing.
Right.
And we weren't saying, oh, does this drum fill sound perfect? Could we do something else there? Do we need this section? We did small bits of pre-production on the first record, but not much, did we?
I think we did like one
live session, wasn't it? And then it was more a case of our producer we worked with at the time, Neil, just saying, right, you can trim the last chorus off this song, or trim the intro, or trim this bit there. But it wasn't kind of like hyper focused going into like each element of it. So I think we definitely will do the hyper focus stuff again going forward. 100%. It would just be nice to actually
play the song,
play them together,
play them together to start with.
That's something that I had always at like doing the traditional way is when you go into pre-production, most people don't know how to, after you've just been, like you said, chord bashing for 4 months, the same songs, whatever, to tell them, okay, drummer, you need to use brushes, and then everybody just turn way down and let's see what we're playing, and then everybody's like, oh, that's how you strum that on that, that turnaround. Like, it's definitely an adjustment. It's definitely an adjustment for sure. It's fun. As far as the recording process, this go around, how much of it was hybrid? You said your producer is from Massachusetts. So, how much of that was done remotely? How much of it was done on your own, or did you guys go to a studio? How did you work this out?
So it was logistically. So we wanted to the original plan before the pandemic hit was we were intending to go to the States to record it with Alan. Alan Day, he plays in 4 Years Strong. So we were trying to work out a schedule of like when we could go. And I think the original plan was like summer, like 2020. And then obviously this was like the top of the year we were making these plans. So all of that got kind of written off. We were kind of sitting on our hands for the majority of 2020, kind of just like, oh, let's hope it kind of pans over. Everyone's like, oh, it'll be over in a month. It wasn't, obviously. But like with, when it came to the point where we're like, we need to record this now, we can't keep waiting forever, especially when there's no flights happening. And so we were like, we ended up working with our longtime former producer and engineer in Neil Kennedy, who is basically like 2 hours from our home. And he's a great producer. He's done stuff like bands like Creeper and like other great UK bands like Milk Teeth, Nervous, all these other great bands, Boston Manor. Yeah, so like I think he's one of the best in our country. So like it wasn't necessarily like a negative that we weren't going to the States to do it, because Neil is great at what he does. So we were fortunate enough to just go record it here. In the top of this year, actually, wasn't it? March 21 now, obviously, going back.
Yeah, last year, so nearly a year back.
Yeah, so we did that all here. We were like, it was still in lockdown, and we kind of had to like self-isolate together in our own bubble to do this process in the UK.
But it's really good because it's this place called The Ranch, and they've got kind of like, as you'd expect, it's just on like kind of like farm out in the sticks, out of nowhere. So we basically went there for, what was it, 3 weeks? Something like that?
I think so.
Like that.
Yeah.
It was longer than we had before. And then this time as well, where we did all the pre-production work, we knew exactly how each of the songs was going to go, like to a T, because we spent so long dissecting them and obviously going through each part. It was kind of just a case of turning up and just tracking the actual parts down. And we had all of the skeleton layers that we needed to fill in, and almost like a tick list kind of thing. So it was just a case of just going through and doing that. So it was actually really chilled. And it was, to be honest, it was the perfect timing, because when we were in the UK in lockdown at the time, just to get away from everything for 3 weeks and just go and be with your mates, you know, and record, like, it was literally the perfect timing in hindsight. But yeah, it was really good working with Neil again. He did our first album, but yeah, we got a bit longer this time, so it meant we could focus on the songs a lot more. The way that I tracked vocals as well was a lot more forgiving. The first album, I kind of tracked all of the songs in the last like 2 days, maybe 3 days. So I was just so paranoid I was going to blow my voice out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was really pleasant. I did like, on like the 4th day, I did like 2 or 3 songs, and then did maybe another song or 2 the next day, and then a rest day, and then a couple songs the day after that. So it was all kind of quite nice and gradual, and you could really like give it welly on each day without having to think, if I blow this, I've ruined it.
That's huge too, because I mean, all of us, I'm sure we've all dealt with it before. It's just like you go into some of these like recording factories, is what I like to call them, and they're like, okay, cool, you got 5 songs, you get 3 days.
Yeah,
it's like okay. That's cool, and you just have to blast through it. Well, background vocals, tough.
Yeah, background vocals always come up last on the last day after you've done all the main vocals too, and you're kind of like, I got harmonies now.
High harmonies, no.
High harmonies.
Okay, cool.
Who else in the band can sing these?
We've done that exact same thing. It's normally the last half of the last day. Yeah, it's just kind of like added percussion layers, like shaker and stuff like that, and then backing vocals, and then it'll be like, then our producer's like, oh, so what are we doing for the backing vocals? And we're like, we thought you could help with that. Have you got any ideas on some other parts? And then he's just thinking, fucking hell, got to just come up with something off the top of my head. And we're like, right. Let's just get it all down to get as many layers as possible, and then we'll just cut out the stuff we don't need afterwards. But yeah, this time was a bit more methodical and a bit more planned, and it didn't feel stressful. It felt like every day we were kind of ahead of time, and therefore you could spend a little bit longer tweaking those guitar tones and messing around with different basses and stuff, you know.
We'll be right back.
So we got a new sponsor.
Yeah, sweet balls, bro.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm pretty sure you can guess by that conversation that our new sponsor is Manscaped.
Yes, Manscaped, a company that I'm very familiar with.
Me too.
A few years now. I've been using their products, and I tell you what, my marbles have never been shinier.
I actually got their lawnmower 3.0.
Yes,
which it has skin safe technology, and they've just upgraded to the 4.0. And let me tell you, I loved the 3.0, but the 4.0 is just so much better. It's got a light on it. Do I really need a light? Yes, you do.
Visual aids.
Yeah,
visual aids
you absolutely do.
Sometimes,
for sure.
Sometimes in those crevices, that upper leg, inner crease.
Yes, agreed.
It's a tough spot. So the Perfect Package 4.0 contains the Lawnmower 4.0.
Yes.
But one of the things that I am a big fan of is the Crop Reviver.
Yes.
They call it. It is. They call it the Ball Spray Toner.
Yes. So it's
those marbles.
What else is in the Perfect package as well is the ball deodorant.
Yes.
It's the Crop Preserver. It's an anti-chafing. So when you walk a lot, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get the chafing. I should probably lose weight, but instead I use this.
I'm just a fan. I've always been a fan. I was super excited when you told me that we got the email from them saying that we could now offer a discount to our listeners.
Yes.
I thought that was super cool. So
and men and women can use it too.
Absolutely. It's not just a man thing.
So if you want, you can get 20% off.
Yeah,
your order now.
A big deal.
That's a big deal.
Pretty awesome.
Use the promo code BaconPod. You get 20% off at manscaped.com. So go ahead to manscaped.com. Save yourself 20%.
Yeah.
Use the promo code
BaconPod.
And make your marbles clean.
20%
off. Shiny.
Check it out, manscaped.com. Highly recommended and used by your boys here at Bacon Is My Podcast. Like I said, keep those marbles shiny.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, this is Cade Katz. You've been listening to Bacon is My Podcast. What's your bacon? These guys are amazing. So thanks for having me, and keep spinning these guys and give them a follow.
And I'm sure if you said day 4, you laid down tracks for one thing. If you're listening to a rough mix or whatever on that song for the next 2 days or on your rest day, that gives you time to kind of come up with those harmonies, those layers, those extra things. Like that's a really cool thing. And then, however many days into it, you might have like a whole week before, so you're listening to a whole record and then you're like, oh, okay, let's throw this on. Okay, let's throw this on. Because like you said earlier, is like, okay, well, put as much as you want on it and then
we'll just sort
it either
out.
works or it doesn't.
We had the same thing in terms of actual like vocal takes as well, because I'm always very like self-critical in terms of takes and stuff. So I like the fact that I got given the kind of rough layers of my main vocals, so then I could go and dissect them in the evening, and I'd sit there with a notepad and say, right, I don't like how I've said that word. I don't like this line. I don't like that line.
Right.
And then I'd go in the next day with a list of things to sort out. It's like, right, just drop me in for the last chorus on this song.
Right.
And I'd just bash out like one line and be like, right, yeah, happy with that. Right, now the next song, 45 seconds in, and then just punching that.
I feel like you very much stole the assistant Kurt.
Yeah,
For like the majority of the record,
this
he
poor
was
guy,
like, Kurt, you drag him off to the side, like, right, here's all my vocal fixes. I want to re-record this. I want to.
Nice.
And I felt like Kurt.
When we did the vocal comp in, it's funny. This lovely guy called Kurt, patience of an absolute saint, and I just sat with him, and I'm just like, look, I just know I'm just being so irritating, but like, I'm saying it in a lovely way. I wasn't like being like unprofessional, but I was like, you probably get this all the time, and you think, fucking hell, he's on one again. But he just sat with me for like 4 hours, and we just went through and just tweaked all of the bits that I wanted tweaking and redoing certain lines. And I'd be like, what do you think about how I've said that? And he'll be like, it's fine. And I'll be like, I'm going to do a different take anyway. I want to do another one. And he's there thinking, oh, God, dealing with this guy. So it's nice.
It's going to live forever. It's yours.
Right.
That was my argument. And afterwards, I gave him a big hug and said, thank you so much for not punching me in the face when I said that.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you guys have the Never Better release show coming up. It's going to be February 23rd, and you're at Seabright Arms.
Mm-hmm.
A couple bands that you're with, Snake Eyes and Out of Love. This isn't your first show out of like quarantine and all that stuff. You did play. So what was that like? Do you remember that like first time getting back up on stage in front of people and feeling that and did you play way too fast and like what was going through your head?
I mean,
and then also what's about the show and everything. What's the scene like out there? Anyway, so coming up and being where you guys are at.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because we hadn't played live since I don't know, March 2020. I think we were touring as Corona hit the UK.
Yeah, it was. Was it March, maybe February? It was early 2020. Yeah. Basically, we just got off tour, and then that happened. So then, obviously, we didn't have anything else in the pipeline anyway. So then, it was pretty terrifying. Obviously, then writing the album and then thinking it would be nice to actually play some shows again. I didn't start. I didn't start.
When are we going to be able to do this? I
didn't start a band to stare at a MacBook with my guitar in my hand like for the rest of my life. That's not what I signed up for. But we deliberately booked. So we got offered to play Slam Dunk Festival, which in the UK is like one of the biggest pop rock, punk rock festivals, and that was on paper our biggest show we've ever played, kind of thing.
So that's what I was about to say.
So that was the first show back
from nothing.
So it was like biggest show ever is also first show back.
Yeah. So like that.
Who else was on that bill?
Alkaline Trio. Who headlined? It was Don Broco, wasn't it? Who else? We saw Boston Manor, Trash Boat. We saw so many bands that day. But Alkaline Trio, Anti-Flag. I was at the punk stage for quite a lot of it.
No pressure.
Skin Dread.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, some really great bands, and it was, I think for the festival organisers, it was like a long time coming because they had postponed the festival multiple times. And I think, honestly, I don't think we would have got booked if it wasn't for like limitations with the international bands coming to the UK. I think we're only booked like 4 weeks out of the festival.
Well, that was the thing. So we had, bear in mind, we hadn't even really practiced at this point because we were just starting.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And then we got a message in the inbox saying, do you guys fancy playing Slam Dunk? And we were like, fuck yeah. Like, we've been trying we've been trying to get on the festival for the last like 4 or 5 years. So when we finally got given the opportunity, we were just like, absolutely say yes. Doesn't matter what the fee is, what the arrangements are. Let's just
we'll figure it out.
And then I remember thinking, Jesus, now we've got to actually learn how to play the songs and play them in front of the most people we've ever played them in front of.
Commercial break.
All right, Jimsy, you think grilling season is over?
Almost, right?
No. Grilling season is never over because of a new sponsor of ours.
Ooh, what is it?
GrillYourAssOff.com.
I love the name already.
Yeah. It's a veteran-owned company that sells spices, barbecue sauces, cool swag, even cookbooks.
Oh, you know what? You sent me a link to that. I checked it out. That was awesome. They had some cool recipes right on their site. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's for free. But now that they're a sponsor, they've decided that if you use the promo code BACON, you get 10% off your order.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm ready. I'm definitely ordering some spices. They had a couple that looked really killer.
Yeah, and it's really, there's so many different selections that there's really a spice for everybody. The guys that are like heat heads, and even the people that just want something subtle, delicious, sweet, whatever it is. They've got something for everybody.
Awesome. Did we order any? Did we have any coming?
We've got some coming.
Nice.
And we're going to do some tasting episodes over on the Patreon.
Awesome. So
with
stick
a little
around.
Bit of grill your ass off stuff.
Stick around, everyone, because once we get those in, we're going to taste them. We're going to go through them, and then we're going to let you know what we think, and maybe give you some choices that we would kind of go for.
So once again, head over to grillyourassoff.com. Use that promo code BACON, and get 10% off.
Sweet.
Hi, everybody. I am Eric Bischoff, and you're listening to Bacon is My Podcast.
Yeah. So we did a warm-up show. We got asked to support a band called Rome in Brighton, and so that was good because that was before Slam Dunk, so it was the day before. So that kind of gave us a opportunity. In my head, I was thinking, if we mess up, it'll be less bad for something that's more of a kind of warm-up show, like in a club that was like 150 people kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that went fine. And then so then the first show we did at Slam Dunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about this already.
So we turned up obviously just terrified and excited. And then the main organizer of the festival came over to us, I think it was, and he goes, there's been an issue with the stage, so we can't go on just yet. And we were thinking, it's all right, we'll be like 5 minutes. And he was like, it won't be long. We're just going to have to like sort the support out underneath. And then it went on, and he come over and he was like, I'm not sure if you guys are going to get on. I'm really sorry, but I might have to make it up to you. And we were thinking, no, because we were looking out and there was a sea of people, probably, I don't know, it felt like a couple thousand. It was by far the most you've ever played to. And I remember thinking, this is going to be an amazing experience. I can't wait. I was excited, but also like nervous. And then to have it almost taken away from us like that. And then basically the guy then come over to us. They were messing around with it for ages, trying to sort it. And eventually did. And they came over and they were like, right, you got 10, 15 minutes, like just go on now. So we literally didn't even have time to think about it. We had our guitars in our hands, just walked on stage. And then there was like a cheer because the people were just waiting for any music. Any music. Yeah. I don't think they were flattering us, cheering us per se. I think it was. I think it was more they were just like, thank God we're about to actually hear some music. We've been waiting for like.
As long as you're still cheering at the end, you're good.
Yeah. So we walked out, and I remember thinking I didn't even get a chance to be nervous because I was so stressed about we're probably not going to get to go on at all. By the time we walked on stage, there was no chance to even think about anything. It was just autopilot, just plug in 1, 2, 3, 4, start the first song kind of thing. And then before I knew it, the kind of set was over. We only got to play.
We played literally 3 songs and then that was it.
It wasn't 3 songs, it was 4 songs.
Was it 4?
Yeah, it's 4 songs. But we had like 7 or 8 in the set. But then, so that was the introduction to it back. And then we played the next day of the festival. And was just fine. That was
Yeah.
just a normal,
Yeah.
great show of, so there's no crazy stories for that. But the first big one was that moment where the stage nearly broke. So I was thinking,
so did you even get to have that moment on stage of like, holy shit, this is what I'm doing? Or was it just kind of like, okay, what songs do we cut? Okay, we got to go. Bam, bam, bam. Let's do it.
It was kind of after for me. Like when I walked out, I remember thinking, oh my God, like it was more the fact that there was that many people. You couldn't pretend that you were absolutely cacking your pants. You had to just kind of, pretend that everything's fine. And then before, I think I kind of got nervous almost after I got off stage and actually could, breathe for a second, and then was just like, what the hell just happened in the last 20 minutes?
You had to process what actually happened. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great experience.
It was awesome. It was a really good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've gotten to play a few shows. I still haven't played a show yet.
Yeah.
Have you
I still haven't gotten back. What's that?
You haven't played a show yet?
I haven't played a show since.
Yeah, yours is in March.
Yeah. I mean, I got to get a guitar player and a bass player. So there is that, but I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Give us a shout. We'll help you out.
Come on over.
Come on
over. Get a 7-string? You're good.
No, sorry.
You can borrow mine.
Hey, you don't even need to worry about gigs anymore. Everything's all done on a laptop these days anyway. So,
Right.
The drop pedal. That drop pedal, have you guys seen that? The Digitech drop pedal?
Yeah, we have one.
What, so you don't need bass players anymore? Is that what you mean? So you just
It's amazing. It is
that's
so
what
cool.
Oh yeah, he's actually got one.
Our bass player has one, but it's only because it saves in time between songs tuning. Like rather than changing a whole guitar, he's like, I'll put this pedal on, that'll do it all. So
after these messages, we'll be right back.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And before we get into this week, if one episode just isn't enough for you and you need a little bit more Bacon is My Podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast. Over there, you will get access to monthly live streams, discounts on merch, early and commercial-free access to Bacon is My Podcast episodes. Some of them are even extended surprise giveaways, additional shows, including Tasting is My Passion, and, of course, Cooking with Bacon is My Passion. And, oh yeah, you get a crap ton of music. That's right, all of Jimmy and Mike's bands, previous, current, whatever it is, you'll get access to that music, demos, and much, much more. Just head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast and learn what the hoopla is all about.
Hey guys, this is Kaylee. Go check out my new single, Faded Memory. You're consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it does it it's that precise.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be.
It's
great.
unbelievable. It's really cool. It's really cool. Have you guys, like, as guitar players, have you guys embraced this whole like digital thing? Like he got me to become a Helix guy. And then, we speak to other guys who are like, now you got to go Axe Effects. They got the new stuff coming out and
you
and
guys
stuff like
gear
that.
guys like that.
Are you gear guys? Because we've had other guys that are just like, I don't even know what my amp is called.
Yeah, I think that falls into Harry's.
Yeah, category. I mean, look, I'm not the most techie with stuff like that. My passion is songwriting and writing, punk rock catchy songs, as opposed to kind of diving into technical aspects of it. But Callan's an absolute guitar tone nerd, so he's the one you want to be speaking to. And he's
I still streamline. I'm still on the side of I prefer traditional tube amps rather than anything digital.
Yeah.
But I completely see the benefits of the digital side of it all. It's just, I can see you probably have felt it firsthand, but when you're doing the dancer and the pedal board, and then you see your friends who have those digital amps, and they just hit a switch, and it's
got a setting,
and it's all sorted for them. And so I can see that side of it all, but I don't know. It's just what I grew up with, isn't it? Just plug your guitar into the amp and turn up the gain a bit and have a bit of fun. But
I was always just because I never used. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitar player as well, so I'm not playing lead guitar. I'm not using all kinds of pedals or anything. It's I always had dirty amp, clean sound, sort of clean, and then a couple
Phase.
of pedals, right? Like a phaser. Because I always did, plain straight ahead rock and roll, and still do. And when I switched over to it, it was more for me a matter of like I'm not going to use all the stuff still. I don't use the Helix for nearly anything that it has available. It's just consistency. It's like everywhere I go, the sound is going to be the same, and the sound to the crowd is going to be exactly the same as the sound that I hear out of a little monitor in front of me, because I also sing for my band. So I never heard my guitar because it was always, my amp was always off to the side on the other side of my bass player. So if I had guitar on the monitors, lucky me. If I didn't, I was just hoping, Yeah,
there or thereabouts.
So it did. I will say that it definitely helped me with that. But I fought it for a long time because I was like, oh no, that's for like the Steve Vai guys. That's for the guys that are gonna be, that they're gonna be playing prog and stuff like that need all the effects and all the tones. And I'm a, Marshall into a cab guy.
Yeah.
But it changed. Once I did it, I was like, oh, I get it now.
And it's funny too, because like I've been always on the recording side of it. So I embrace digital kind of, because I was in a 1-bedroom apartment with a child and still recording. So I was like, okay, I could DI everything and I'm good. And then, once it came back to live, I was like, okay, tube amp. And then this guy switched over to Helix and he was like, it's great. I said, wait, what? This guy, like he was always like his Marshall. He's like, I need to get a Mike Ness sound, and that's P90s and
sound like Social Distortion. So
it's P90s into your Marshall, and that's it. Or he had this nice Mesa combo, and I was like, what do you mean? This is great. And I tried it the first time and it's hooked. That was it. I dumped my tube amps. I have one left.
I think that's what. When I go that way, it will be like, when you buy your first iPhone or whatever, and you're like, I'm never going back to whatever I had before. Yeah. I feel like it's going to feel like that when we are Marshall players, and I feel like if that day comes where I will get like a Kemper or something, I will see the benefits of my logistical improvement. I'll be like, oh no, I'm gonna have to just stick with this now, But I don't want to be that guy. I love
it. Might be.
I will say though,
when you fly over here to do a tour in the U.S. and all you have to bring is a backpack.
Yeah.
See, that's a USB stick.
That's where you're gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm sold. I'm done.
I mean, that's my thing.
You have to rent gear.
Renting gear. Yeah, I can imagine. Have you guys toured the US at all? Have you been over to the US at all?
No, we were meant to come out for the first time in 2020. We were going to play the Fest in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we couldn't make it, obviously. So we hope. I think there's an option on the table to come back at some point, but we'll have to see what we're doing later this year and all that stuff. I would love to come out there, and it's weird. Kind of, we look at the ins and outs of the data and stuff of who listens to our music, and I think a lot of our fans are out there now, more than the UK, arguably. Yeah. So we would love to come out there, like more than anything. It's just it's such a huge expense for UK bands to tour the US.
Yeah.
I think visas alone are so much more expensive versus the other way around if US bands come to the UK. So it's hard to make it viable, but it's absolutely on our bucket list to make it out there at some point, I think. So
100%. I'd absolutely love to do it,
Do you have some like US bands that you're kind of friends with or tight with that you've been able to contact online that you might be able to do trade shows and stuff? Have you thought about that, talked about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've made a few over the years, I feel like even since like we were last like playing with any US bands, a lot of them kind of just have stopped playing and stuff. So it's weird, and it's harder to make those connections when you're on the other side of the sea sometimes.
Right.
But I mean, we're good friends with like Light Years and bands like that, and Dirty Nil, Canadian band.
But still,
great people, and we'd love to. And a lot of I think what Fest are really good at as well is they do book a lot of British artists in particular.
Yeah.
So it feels like your whole scene is moving across the ocean for the weekend and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see that. So I mean, yeah, I can't wait for the day we make it out there and stuff. But
the second that we get given an opportunity that said, oh, would you like to come with us for like a 3-week tour or something like that? Because then it would be something that would be a lot more financially viable, I think.
Rather than coming out for 2 days or
then if you have to pay for a visa and it's just an annual visa that lasts a year, then that's only financially viable if you're going to kind of tour enough to make it worthwhile.
How long is it like 6 weeks to tour the whole States typically? Like, is that what bands do?
You could probably do it. Yeah, it's probably about a 6-week thing.
If you're doing A towns, probably like 6 weeks.
So that's the problem. Is like we that'll like eat our entire like holiday from work. It's tough. I think we'd have to do it in bits and pieces where we can, and like maybe do a coast tour. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, like an East Coast thing or a West Coast thing or even a Midwest thing, it'd probably be better off to like just break it down that way and then, do like 3 weeks and then you can sprinkle some B towns because especially for like a younger band, an up and coming band, I feel like the B towns are where you're going to end up selling more merch and stuff too. It's going to be less of the worrying about, okay, I'm going to have to win over this crowd.
Right.
The B towns are where you're going to get this crowd to idolize you because there's nothing else happening in that town. That's definitely, I don't know. I've never done it before.
The beauty right now, being able to get all your analytics.
Don't take my tour advice.
Like you guys are saying, you can see where your fans are. So, if you do come out for a couple of weeks and you're able to sprinkle it in and go, okay, well, we can see that our fans are in these areas. And maybe we'll do a few more shows around these areas or come back to them a few times. That might even work better for you than the whole tour. But that's even when touring comes back. But
that's the other thing. It's such a risk at the moment, knowing that if stuff's gonna close down again, and then
exactly.
If you've booked flights and arranged everything like that, it's
a nightmare. How has it been out there with shows and everything? And back to before, like I was wondering how the scene is like when you guys were growing up and where you are now and everything. Are you able to find places to play? Do people support independent bands? Do people support original bands? Or are you kind of fighting the cover bands for spots and stuff like that? I say that because we're in New York, so we're in an area where it's like it's very much like that.
It's like what we were saying earlier about the place with the jukebox,
right?
So we were saying that's the kind of one place that does kind of original music in our little hometown. But similar to what you were saying about the B towns and stuff, and about how you can sell a lot of merch and be successful in there. That's what our hometown used to be like when we were younger, and in kind of the equivalent of high school or secondary school, as we call it here. And people would just go and watch random bands on a Tuesday night that they'd never heard of because they started building a scene and it wasn't massive, but there would be 100 to 200 people that, you'd get 50 of them turn up on a random Tuesday, and then the next day another 50 would turn up, and you just kind of give things a chance. Whereas unfortunately that hasn't been the case since this was when we were like kind of 15, 16, 17 kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, since we've actually been in Weatherstate, this was what I'm talking about is our like old bands when we were in school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've never had that as Weatherstate, and there's nothing.
There's no scene where
there's no scene at all for us to play there now. Unfortunately, really, it's you have to play in that metal place, and then you might have a few people like you, but then the proper metalheads think that we suck. So,
the shout and Slayer,
which I guess means you're doing your job.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, put it this way: they wouldn't put us in the jukebox there.
Right.
So. But then when we first formed, when a couple of us were up in Bristol at university, we started playing a lot more shows like there, and that's obviously where we kind of say that we first originated as a band, even though we're from Weymouth, which is a bit more down south. There's a few more opportunities to play shows and stuff around there, and the UK scene in general is relatively strong, and there's some amazing bands coming out of it, but it's going to be a tough time over the next year, I think, whilst people are trying to build up the confidence and
trying to build it back up,
build that back up again, because some people, it's put a lot of bands out completely, the pandemic, and then also the consumers now, people that are actually going to attend, might think, oh, I won't do that because of X, Y, Z, or people just do different things. So I think it could take a couple of years to build that back up again.
Yeah.
But
so I feel like where we're at currently is like touring what's happening over the last few months, and then as January kind of hit and the new variant, a lot of tours were postponed through January. We've now kind of just dipped over the curve. So like, I think from February onwards, touring is like a bit more viable again.
Oh, good.
But it's right now, like we're, it's hard to kind of gauge like what we're going to do next in terms of touring. And that's why we're so much really looking forward to this release show, because we would have liked to do a lot more, but I think having this one and done event for the release show, I think we're trying to make it as special as possible. And the two bands we're playing with, Snake Eyes and Out of Love, I think they're two really exciting British bands. And Snake Eyes, I think they got so much potential for them to grow right now. I think they're just skyrocketing. And they're quite a unique story as well, because they formed in the pandemic and they have made a success of themselves in the worst time to become a band. And it's really refreshing to see that sometimes. It kind of reminds you that it's not all doom and gloom if like nothing's happening. So like,
just means you've got to take a different approach with it.
Yeah.
People
absolutely.
Yeah, less of that record tour cycle kind of situation, and just like you said, drop some singles, get that buzz going, drop a few videos, just content, things that people can consume and stuff like that.
Yeah,
cool videos like Headstone.
Yes.
See what you're saying.
See this? We worked that in.
Yeah.
which has a warning on it that it can cause seizures.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of colors, a lot of flashing lights.
Yes.
Very cool video. I enjoyed it. I was kind of hoping for a little head rush. Didn't get one.
Oh, you wanted to be on.
You weren't sitting.
I wanted to be on the floor a little bit, but I didn't get it. But I did really enjoy the song and the video.
You didn't sit close enough to the TV.
I didn't sit close enough. The next time I watch it, I'm going to definitely be right up close, get that flashing lights in the face.
Well, real quick, while we're talking about sneaking things in, we do have to sneak in a little bit of a commercial.
This is true.
But it's an interactive commercial.
Yes, you guys get.
We got to pay some bills. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we are sponsored by this awesome company called Poddex. What they are is a company that helps budding podcasters with these decks of questions. They're icebreakers, they're episode topics, and they're good for just like all around conversation.
Yeah,
sitting around with
I'm a
friends.
bartender. I'll bring it to the bar.
Sitting around with friends. Hey, let's just bullshit and take some cards from the pod decks. So what we like to have is our guests, and now because there's two of you, you'll both get to pick respective decks.
Yeah.
But we'd like you to pick a deck from the arsenal that is pod decks, and then we're going to ask you questions. So the decks we have are the episode deck, the interview deck 2, what the heck, would you rather, and then the newest ones, there's how dare you,
which needs to be said like that.
It has to be said like Mr. Big Head from Rocco's Modern Life.
Yes.
And also, what the fuck? So, and it's got this cool like MTV looking brand type deal. So
the brand is very on point.
Yes.
Okay.
So Callan, we're going to start with you. Which deck would you like to pick a question from?
What the heck? I'm going to go for.
He's going to go for what the heck.
All right.
And while I do that, Jim's going to explain to you how to help them and help us.
Yeah. So if you do go to poddex.com, you can check out all of these decks. Plus, they have some unique merch and some swag. They are a very cool company. They have an app for iPhone and Android. You can check those out. Anything you decide to get from Poddex, if you use the promo code
BACON,
because bacon makes everything better, you can get 10% off your entire order. And that is my commercial voice.
So, Callan, we're going to fan this out. You tell us when to stop.
I'm going from my left to my right, your right to your left. Tell me.
Stop.
Stopping right now. All right. Callan, for you, if you were a villain or criminal mastermind, what would be your calling card?
Interesting. I think a burger. I think just leaving a sole burger just on a plate at the scene of the crime. Yeah. Just
Are we talking
no
bun and all,
no
or
bun,
just-
nothing, just a patty on a plate?
Oh, patty could be even more confusing.
Like the Hamburglar, isn't that already a thing?
Is that what he does?
The McDonald's.
Well, no, he takes them. He takes them
takes
and
them.
eats them.
Yeah.
Okay,
He doesn't
so
leave
I'd
them
be
in the
the
crime.
anti-Hamburglar, and I would leave burger patties at the scene of crime.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I like
I was gonna
that.
say if you leave full burgers, you're like the best criminal of all time.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
But if you leave a patty, it's like what?
It's a bit of a mild inconvenience because you'd have to make your own burger.
Why would you do that?
Harry, we're gonna get you to pick a deck. Which deck would you like to pick from, sir?
It's a great answer, by the way.
Can you remind me of the decks available left, please?
Yeah.
Okay, there are the episode deck, interview deck 1, interview deck 2, what the heck would you rather, what the fuck, and how dare you?
Would you rather?
Would you rather is a really
I know I'm going to regret
popular
this.
one.
You might not. The one thing about pod decks is it's they're not too. I mean, now the what the fuck and the how dare you, those are a little bit more racy, but some of the other ones are more in the PG-13 range. So you might you might get one that's tough to answer. You might not. So we'll see. Once again, my left to my right. You tell me when.
Stop.
Stopping right now. Here we go. Oh, see, this isn't a bad one.
Okay.
Would you rather never be able to use a search engine ever again, or never be able to use smartphone apps ever again?
Never be able to use search engine. I don't know. Actually.
Really?
I don't know actually, because it depends.
Because the whole world of information is
at my
search
fingertips.
engines,
But
you're just removing education.
Yeah, I already know enough information. I know enough stuff. So as long as I can scroll through Instagram whilst I'm on the toilet, that's the most important thing.
That is an excellent answer. That is an excellent answer. I love it.
We are going to we've been taking up a lot of your time. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. We're going to start wrapping this up. So we're just going to do a couple of faster questions for you. Just some things that maybe we'll expand on, maybe we won't. One of the things I do want to ask is for Harry specifically, just because I heard another interview from you. What is your favorite Destiny's Child song, and why is it not Jumpin' Jumpin'?
Well, I don't know why I'm acting like I'm confused about what I'm going to say. It's Bills, 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 obviously.
All right.
Obviously. I mean, you could literally name about 10 Destiny's Child songs and they're all absolute bangers.
Yeah, I'm going to say my name is my...
Say my name's pretty great.
Say my name's so good.
Yeah. And then like
Independent
Survivor
Woman.
is like...
But I'm saying Jumpin' Jumpin'.
No, I know what song. I know what song I'm talking about.
I heard Bills, Bills, Bills.
Yeah.
I
heard Is this like a...
Yeah,
that keyboard's sick.
So good.
I heard a mashup recently, and I think it's from like High School Musical. It's a mashup of Survivor, Destiny's Child, and I Will Survive.
The ultimate survival.
Yeah, it came on my work
ultimate,
playlist. And I was like, this is pretty sick.
Yeah.
On record, I just said High School Musical song is all right. There you go.
Well, okay. So,
I was already puzzled.
So what other songs and artists are you guys into that would probably ruin your punk cred?
Oh, Harry, come on.
Oh, mate, I've got loads of them. Unfortunately, in the pandemic, I think it was my kind of coping mechanism, but I kind of just listened to loads of just real, like, I started getting into like country music and stuff, and like all sorts of weird like pop music and stuff. I think I just needed that like kind of serotonin boost. So as opposed to listening to real aggressive punk rock stuff, I think I just needed to take myself out of that mindset completely. And
we're all angry enough.
Yeah. I think So I really just like, I'm a big fan of pop music. I think that even reflects in a lot of the songwriting as well, in a weird way. Obviously, we don't write pop songs, but like,
but you guys have hooks. You guys have hooks. Hooks
pop.
And melody are very prevalent in your guys' music. It's not, for anybody that hasn't listened, it's punk, it's aggressive, but it's melodic and it's catchy and it's hooky, and there's a lot in there.
And that is the main thing for me, really. I'm an absolute sucker for a simplistic but ridiculously catchy melody and a chorus kind of thing, as opposed to something that's very like intricate. But I mean, obviously there's not a one size fits all, but yeah, I absolutely just love any type of like cheese pop music. 90s pop music, you know, you're just talking like NSYNC, Destiny's Child.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Even to like modern, I really love R&B. I've always been into that kind of early like 2000s like R&B. I used to listen to the music channel Kiss in the UK. I'm not sure if that's
there's radio stations, Kiss FM, all of
yeah,
it.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, yeah. But it's all just like, you know, Ja Rule, Ashanti kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for all that stuff. So I think it might be a bit of nostalgia talking there as well. But yeah.
Ashanti, funny enough, Ashanti is from the a few towns over, Glen Cove.
Oh, really?
She's from these parts.
Callan, outside of High School Musical, what are you into?
Oh man, see, I don't feel like I have too many guilty pleasures, but
hey, then I'm not guilty.
No,
I'm not guilty about my
hey man, we just rattled off all those Destiny's Child songs with you, so there's no.
Yeah. I think in the car, like last year, I got into like the worst era of like Avril Lavigne. So like you know like Hello Kitty and like Girlfriend and all that stuff. And what the hell?
That is a bad era.
What the hell is an amazing song? I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's hooky.
I quite like her new songs.
The new songs are right.
I quite like them.
Not bad.
I haven't heard her new stuff.
I heard a couple of them.
Yeah,
she's got Travis Barker all over it. It's one of those things. I think she signed.
Well, he's on everything, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's on
I was going to say Travis Barker plays for everybody. So.
Yeah, he's got his mitts on everything in the pop punk scene, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe my punk credentials are pretty strong. I don't want to break down that 4/4 too much. So, you know.
Absolutely. Well, you know, no shame in your game there, guys.
No.
Yeah.
So as a pop punk fan though, why do you think, and this is just something that I seem to hear from everybody that ever says they like it, why does everybody apologize for liking American Idiot?
Oh mate, I don't think
it's a great record. And anytime someone tells you about it, they go, well, I'm a fan of American Idiot, you know, but I listen to other stuff too.
It's because I absolutely love it and think it's a 10 out of 10 album for the record. So I'm not saying it's in a bad way, but it's absolute cheese on toast in parts, isn't it? It's cheesy.
Oh yeah,
so cheesy.
Hey man, you ever order a burger without cheese?
I don't. But it's a concept record too. So
it needs to be cheesy.
Yeah.
It needs to be cheesy, right? If it's supposed to be telling an epic story, you're not going to do that with songs like Dookie.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like it's a UK thing as well. Like we're typically more pessimistic as people anyway. But I feel like,
we fit right
especially with punk points and stuff, like in the UK, I think like anyone who grew up, my parents grew up on like Dookie and stuff. That's one of the first records I remember ever hearing. I was so young. And then when they took me to go see Green Day in Milton Keynes in 2005 or something like that. Yeah. And I remember them going like, this is awful. Their new stuff's so bad. And I'm like, to me at that time, it was amazing.
Couldn't
I loved
comprehend it.
Yeah.
Comprehend why they didn't like it.
That drastic change from like chord bashing 3-piece punk rock, Ramones kind of style punk rock to like grandiose Queen and like
I think that's amazing. So Green Day has reached that level where people can go like, oh, you like them now? I liked them before they sold out on their early stuff.
Yeah. And I think the thing is with Green Day as well is that where they were always given a hard time for being punk pretenders,
right?
The fact that they then lean in even more to this whole kind of like theatrical poppier side, then that makes people say, I told you so. They were never punk rock. They were never, remote.
Well, that's that. I was just going to kind of say that, like the whole like American Idiot thing was what, like, oh well, they're poppy and they're this and that. But when they made Dookie was a major label album, and that was where they initially started getting shit on by
that's where they sold out,
and that's where they sold out. They were like, oh well, what the fuck, and then now here they are. They lean into it, but that's growth. That's growth.
I guess they just thought if they're going to call us sellouts, we may as well just sell out even more.
Right, exactly. For the record, Insomniac, my favorite Green Day.
Same, absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know which. It's like choosing between like children, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like those first from Dookie to American Idiot. except for maybe Warning. I think all of them are almost perfect. Well, in different ways, though.
Yeah,
I love Dookie, American Idiot, obviously Insomniac, Nimrod.
Nimrod was cool. Nimrod was cool because they started experimenting with different things, and they were kind of all over the map on that record, which I love that.
I think Nimrod is the most core, what I consider that 90s era Green Day. If you just listen to that, it's just like 20 songs, and all of them are just that like classic 90s Green Day. I think Dookie obviously had some of the big hits, and that was the big kind of breakthrough for major label. Insomniac was the aggressive one, which was them pushing back against the whole selling out thing, I guess, which is why it's aggressive. And then Nimrod felt like it was the first one that was just like, fuck it, we're going to just do the core Green Day formula, and it doesn't push the boat loads, does it? But I think it's
Nimrod.
Well,
I think they really like, if you listen to like Last Ride In and Redundant.
Yeah,
I didn't like Redundant when I was a kid, but I think as you get into your mid-20s,
you appreciate it eventually.
Yeah, you like
most of
the
guitar tones in terms of the dynamic range and stuff. I know they do have those songs that are like a curveball and stuff, but a lot of them are just kind of like crunchy gain, like chord bashing Green Day, like the core Green Day sound, I would say, from that kind of era. And then Warnings, where they started getting a bit poppy, and then American Idiot just decided. I
think they were going to break up at that time, so I can kind of see where they went, so they were like, fuck it, let's just do this,
let's make a musical.
Yeah. Did that ever happen?
That was on Broadway for a little while.
It was on Broadway for a while,
just before the pandemic, right?
A few traveling places did it too. I had a friend that actually
came to the UK.
Was St. Jimmy in it.
Was there going to be I thought there was going to be a movie. Was there not at one point an actual like a?
I think so.
I heard about that. I don't know if there was.
It never got made if there was going to be one. I don't remember hearing about it.
Damn shame.
There's always time. There's always time. Yeah. You know what? They made a movie out of Motley Crue's The Dirt. They can make a movie out of
that's hardly a
American
movie.
Idiot.
I saw that actually. I think
I'm sorry.
I saw it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I read it. Great book.
book is probably great.
Read the book. Okay.
The movie was god awful. Yeah, absolutely.
That's when they sold out. Was the movie?
That moment.
I don't know. Kia might say differently.
Right there.
Kia kickstart my heart. I don't know about that. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been really, really cool. We really appreciate you guys giving us the time, hanging out late-ish. I mean, for Callan, I know he's been working all day, so. He's a bit tired.
Yeah.
But before we sign off here, can you please let the audience know where they can find you, your music, all your socials, everything like that?
Yeah, so you can find us on @Weatherstate on almost every social platform, all that stuff. New singles have been dropping for our second album, Never Better, coming out on February 10th. Check out our Headstone video. We just released that. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Very cool. Thank you guys so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been awesome.
Everybody, please check them out. The music is great. Headstone's a really cool video. They have a number of cool videos. Check out Panic Attack too. A lot of cool stuff for Weatherstate.
And just like a little peek behind the curtain here, I hope you guys end up doing Fest, because actually we might be doing Fest.
Yeah.
Oh man, awesome. That'd be awesome. Okay.
we don't know for sure yet, but
mate,
we might be doing Fest.
We'll give you a DM if we do make it out.
We'll bring a garden gnome in our backpack when we travel over.
Yeah.
Oh, we were gonna get one for you.
Believe me,
Callan's backpack.
You will get one at some point.
We'll both turn up with the same gift.
I'm still trying to get a lot of the bands that come on when we talk about garden gnomes. I'm trying to get gnoming as a prank for people on the road, just to leave gnomes in people's gear and like randomly show up
in their tour bus and stuff like that.
Tour bus, everything. So
yeah,
it'll catch on. If I got to do it, I'll do it. I'm on it.
Yeah, you know what? Silverstein's coming soon, so maybe we can get Josh in on a thing. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging, and always. Well, you know what? Maybe you've learned something.
Have they learned something? What do you think?
Have you learned something?
This is an educational podcast.
Okay.
There's one question that we always want everybody to ask themselves. What is that question?
I forgot your sign off. I'm sorry.
I
don't know.
Okay.
What does that mean?
What's your
Keep
bacon?
it bacon.
Keep it.
What's your bacon?
Keep it. Oh, I like that one better.
Keep it bacon's good too.
Keep it bacon.
Yeah.
But always ask yourself, hashtag, what's your bacon? What in your life makes it better? What in your life makes it worth it? What in your life is more than a side, more than a main, more than an app? What makes it everything? What's your bacon?
What's your bacon?
But also,
keep it bacon.
Keep it bacon.
Keep it bacon.
It's got a ring to it.
Okay.
What, you don't want your turkey pot pie recipe online?
It's not a thing yet.
Oh.
I haven't done it. So
is it going to be online?
Maybe.
Possibly on the Patreon?
Probably on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/baconismypodcast.
Yes. So big shout out to our BIMP squad over there.
Indeed.
Additional content, early episodes, commercial free, cooking episodes, and then we taste gross shit. We're going to do that later on today.
Also, we're about to do some of that. But speaking of not gross shit, Weatherstate.
They were great.
They were not gross at all.
They were great. They had funny accents.
I think we have. Well, I don't have an accent. You don't really have an accent either.
I've worked on that.
Yeah.
I had cousins that made me work on that.
I worked on that too because I lived in the Midwest. So
yeah.
It was
y'all.
Tough. Yeah, I didn't want to y'all. Dude.
But thank them. Oh, well, I thank them. You can thank them too.
Yeah, I thought you were ordering me to thank them. Thank you.
Thank them.
Thank you.
But thank you guys for hanging out with us. Jim, where can they find you?
You can find me at Jimmy G Shoes on the socials. And you can find my band Craving Strange at cravingstrange.net.
One sec.
And cravingstrange.net, where you can get to all of our socials and all that kind of stuff too. We have new music either coming out or out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find Bacon Is My Podcast at baconismypodcast.com, where you get links to literally everything, all of our socials.
Indeed.
We have our merch store. We have Bacon Is My Fashion, which is that one. We have all kinds of stuff.
All of our socials at Bacon Is My Pod. Also, you can find Bacon Is My Passion music.
Yeah.
All over the place. New
out
single
as
out
well.
is new single is out. Me personally, you can find at me my own self Mike on all of the social platforms, as well as my band Something Heavy at Something Heavy Music, and on the Twitter, the Spotify's, the Apple Musics, and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
That said, thank you for joining us, and
thanks for hanging out.
Always remember to ask yourself one burning question:
What's your bacon? You love your weekly dose of Bacon Is My Podcast, but you need even more bacon. Well, just go over to baconismypodcast.com. You can engage even more with us over there. It's a pathway to our music, extra content, our social media pages. Most importantly, grab yourself some pretty sweet swag and put it all over your body parts. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Listen to some tunes, pick up some merch, and tell us, what's your bacon?